Hello, everyone. My name is Brennan Marr. That noise you're hearing is my ventilator. And welcome to Page Turners. They Were Not My Star Wars podcast. Today, I'd like to talk about the footage that we saw over the weekend at D23. It's not really a trailer, it's a sneak peek. So I'd like to talk about that today. Now, before I do, as we get closer and closer to the release of The Rise of Skywalker, I am going to be distancing myself from any further knowledge. What I mean by that is when the trailer comes out, trailers probably, and when the various TV spots come out, and commercials, and so on and so forth, I am going to be distancing myself from that material. I already know as much as I want to know going into this movie. I'm aware of the teaser. I'm aware of the sneak peek. I am aware of some of the information from the Vanity Fair article. That is all I really care to know. So, it is possible that when the trailer comes out, I will not watch it. That is a possibility. And if so, I will not be able to talk about it on this podcast. So I'm just warning you about that ahead of time. Alright, that being said, let's speculate. May I remind you, of course, hashtag speculate responsibly. In keeping with my fellow podcasters at Force Center, I don't want to get too deep into speculation. There's nothing wrong with speculation, I should say. It's when the speculation is irresponsible and becomes expectation. But let's speculate. Alright. So the first images we see are a nice recap of the original. Well, actually, all of the movies up to this point. All the saga movies. You know, like this is supposedly the end of the Skywalker saga, therefore it only makes sense that they recap the Skywalker saga. Now, the images that stand out the most to me. Now, I've only watched it twice, and I'm not watching it again because I don't want to get too deep into it. But let's talk about the images that really stand out. Number one, you've got Kylo Ren and Rey fighting a lightsaber battle on some kind of ruins or wreckage that look like it's in the ocean. I believe that this is the Death Star wreckage that they saw, that Rey and the others were looking at the end of the teaser, the original teaser. So that image is really quite interesting, and the lightsaber battle looks pretty neat. Cinematography looks great, by the way, and the look of that particular scene of them fighting in the middle of the ocean, that great idea. An interesting parallel, by the way, to Obi-Wan and Anakin fighting in lava, and now you get Kylo Ren and Rey fighting in water. It's very interesting. We get an image of, it looks like a Resistance fleet. Well, actually, let me go back really quick to the Kylo Ren and Rey fight. Now, as we all suspect, there's going to be a big lightsaber fight in this movie. And this, I believe, is it. You've got the sea, You've got maybe a storm. I'm probably going to have lots of splashing water and rain, probably making for a visually stunning fight. Now, why are they fighting? That's an interesting question. Are they both trying to get something? Are they continuing their join me? No, join me, back and forth. Has Rey given up on Kylo Ren? Or Ben Solo? Or not? Or is this more of a, they don't want to fight each other, but they will? I don't really know what this means. Now, I suspect, my speculation would be that they are both trying to get something in the Death Star ruins. There is something they're looking for, if that is the Death Star ruins they're fighting on. Circumstantial evidence suggests it is. What are they trying to get? Now, I have a theory that Palpatine's spirit may be haunting the Death Star. I do not believe that Palpatine is still alive. I may be wrong, but he kind of exploded in Return of the Jedi, by the way. And all that dark energy came pouring out of him. So I suspect he may be haunting the Death Star ruins. But maybe there's something, maybe they don't know he's haunting it. And they're looking for something, a holocron or some kind of something. Something to give them an advantage. So that's really the first scene that I want to talk about. I don't really know. But Rey's really going on the offensive in that lightsaber fight, I think. I also had a strange theory that came to mind yesterday. Rey seems to be more powerful the closer she is to Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo. If we go back to The Force Awakens, Rey was able to use the Force to mind trick the Stormtrooper in the Starkiller base after her encounter with Kylo Ren. Before she does that, however, she's able to use the Force to push back against Kylo's mind probe. He's using the Force to get information out of her, and she fights back. And then later she's able to mind trick the guy. So maybe what that means is that she's more powerful when Kylo Ren is around. Darkness rises and light to meet it, or something to that effect. And Snoke says that he warned Kylo that the deeper he went into the dark, his rival would rise in the light. So maybe Rey gains more power when Kylo Ren is near. So we get that. And also the lightsaber fight. When Rey taps into the Force, she's able to fight back extremely well and defeat Kylo Ren. And then also later in The Last Jedi, Rey is able to lift those rocks to free her trapped comrades and whatnot when Kylo Ren is near. He's on the planet at the same time that happens. So I suspect that, and also the lightsaber fight in the throne room against the Praetorian Guards, Rey did pretty well. And that's also because she was fighting back to back with Kylo Ren. So maybe she grows in power when he's near. That being said, the fight on the Death Star ruins looks very interesting. The number two thing I wanted to, the image that really stood out, we see a fleet of resistance ships like coming out of hyperspace. The X-Wings have got their S-foils locked. But the background is light colored. I find that interesting. Because the next image after that is a ton of old style Imperial Star Destroyers. Not First Order Star Destroyers, Imperial Star Destroyers. And they're in some kind of blue background. Like a nebula, but you see these lightning flashes in the back. So maybe it's in the atmosphere of a planet. I don't know. And then the shot immediately after that is a shot of Finn and that new girl in the cockpit of some ship. Now, I had said on Monday that it looked like the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. But the way the camera was angled, I don't think it is. Because the left side of the cockpit showed space, or that same blue background. The Millennium Falcon cockpit is on the right. So I don't believe that's the Falcon they're in the cockpit of, unless the image has been flipped for the sneak peek. And it looks like Finn is like gulping. He's looking at this. So like a big battle might be about to occur. Now, I wonder if these Star Destroyers are actually just sitting there as part of a contingency plan. According to the Star Wars Aftermath novel trilogy, Emperor Palpatine had set up a lot of plans in the case of his death. It would seem, a contingency plan. Maybe these Star Destroyers are sitting there as part of the plan to, at the right moment, strike back. Now, whether or not these are actually manned Star Destroyers, like whether or not there's actually people on them and there is about to be a big battle, I don't know, but I suspect that we may end up with a three-way war here. The old Empire, the First Order, and the Rebels/Resistance fighting in like a, it's been suggested, like a Battle of the Five Armies from The Hobbit kind of battle. So we get that. We get an image of C-3PO with red eyes. He's sitting up in some kind of chair in like a laboratory. I don't know what that means. Maybe they activated a new protocol on him and that allows him to be violent. Or maybe there's some kind of sinister program in him that was set up there. Or he's possessed. Not the droid. You may say, how can a droid be possessed? I don't know. Maybe Palpatine's spirit can infect droids. I don't know. I still believe that this movie is going to involve the disembodied spirit of Palpatine possessing people's bodies. A person, maybe more than one person, but I think it's going to involve that. So what the thing with C-3PO is, I don't know. It looks like someone had done some work on it. Maybe it's just to activate a protocol where he can use weapons or something. Maybe he actually starts using a gun or something. I don't know. You have to override his programming because he's not programmed for that kind of behavior. There's a lot to talk about, but the last thing I do want to talk about, the big one, the one that everyone's been talking about, and that is Dark Ray. I don't know what that means. There's a couple of theories, and let's talk about those briefly. Number one, it's a clone of Rey. Okay? Now go with me on this one. In The Last Jedi, when Rey looked into that mirror in the cave, she saw multiple images of herself. What if that is foreshadowing that she is a clone? Maybe the filthy junk trader parents that, as Kylo Ren described them, were not her actual parents, but raised her and were irresponsible morons, leaving her with Ungar Plutt. And maybe that image of all those rays in the mirror is she's a clone. And there are multiple rays. And maybe they're all meant to be powerful beings. I don't know. So that's number one. Number two, it's a twin. Rey is a twin sister. Twins are not uncommon in Star Wars, as we've seen. The idea that she has an evil twin sister, or rather a twin of her, who was raised in similarly harsh environment, but chose to go evil. Now let me bring to mind the movie The Boys from Brazil. The Boys from Brazil is about Nazis who escaped to Argentina, trying to bring a new Hitler into the world. And the way they do it is they have this number of boys that are similar to Hitler. They may be clones. I don't remember the details. But the idea is to mold them into being like Hitler by messing with the environments they grow up in so that it mimics the world that Hitler grew up in. The idea of the father dying, the father being significantly older than the mother, the boy having a good attachment to his mom and a bad relationship with his dad. A lot of the things, environmental factors that shaped Adolf Hitler. Maybe it's Rey's twin sister, who was raised in a similarly harsh environment as Rey was. But unlike Rey, this one chose the dark, whereas Rey chose the light. Maybe Rey had been put on Jakku because Palpatine or whoever had hoped that it would mold her into a villain. So Rey, but also, so this could be Rey's twin sister. I don't know. And that would be interesting. That would certainly throw a wrench in things. I would be okay with the clone idea. I would be okay with the twin idea. The third one is that it is Rey, and that she turns to the dark side. Now, somebody might say, well, Rey doesn't show any dark side bleedings. That is not entirely true, at least not in my view. When you see Rey get into a fight, she's pretty ferocious. But almost like she's going beyond what a Jedi should do. And really tapping into her anger and hate and things like that. You know, the dark side tools. Also, when Luke is teaching Rey, you know, he's like, you went straight to the dark. Now that may just be Luke's opinion. But Rey did. And she went to that dark side cave and all kinds of things like that. Where there are some moments where I think Rey demonstrates that there is some darkness in her. And it's possible that she does turn to the dark side, and I don't think it comes completely out of left field. Now, how long does she turn to the dark side? Does she come back in the end, or does she die? Who knows? Maybe they'll flip the tables on us. Ben Solo turns good, Rey turns evil. Rey dies, Ben lives. I don't know. And the fourth idea is that it's a vision. It could be. a vision that Kylo has, a vision that Rey has. Here's my one reason why I don't think it's a vision. Or why I would not like that idea. It's the lightsaber. We introduce a neat new lightsaber, only to have the whole thing be just a vision. Those who are already very negative about Star Wars are going to come out of the woodwork to say, oh, that's just a gimmick to sell toys. And quite frankly, I may be inclined to agree with that. I do not believe it would be in their interest to have that just be a vision. Because what that demonstrates is that it's a cop-out. I hate to say it. I don't like to use that word, but I feel that it's a get out of jail free. They show us something neat like that, something that gets our brains buzzing about what it means. We get to the movie, oh, it's just a vision. They will have been playing with us in a way that I find very distasteful. I don't like to be negative on my podcast, but I just hope it's not a vision. Or if it is, it has more meaning than just, oh, it's a vision. That's it. You know, maybe, but then again, let me back up. I am willing to accept whatever they give if it works for me. If I see it and I like it and I go, yeah, I like what they did, then I'll take whatever. I am just concerned that if it's just a vision, if it's just like a, few minute force vision, then they will have gotten us all really excited for nothing. At the very little. So that's the big one. There's so much that we could talk about, and I don't want to get too deep into it. But I am just excited about what this movie will bring us. The rumors are that it's going to be a very long movie because John Williams is composing a lot of music. I'm of course excited to hear his score. I mean, the movie, I'm going to guess the movie's going to be like 2.5 hours long. Possibly, or even longer. That's my guess. And I'm very excited about what this will bring. As I said, this may be the last footage that I wish to view related to The Rise of Skywalker. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think about this new sneak peek. My name is Brendan Marr. That noise you hear is my ventilator, and thank you so much for tuning in. To page turners, they were not. My Star Wars podcast. May the Force be with you.